Hello DB besties. Today we are putting our UV DTF to the test and we're gonna compare it to another very popular way to customize tumblers, and that is sublimation. So a lot of you have been asking us what's the difference between UV DTF and sublimation, which is better, which comes out on top. So today we're gonna take the same design and we're gonna do it in both ways, and we're gonna talk about the pros and cons of each. So without further ado, let's get into it. So here is the design we're gonna be using today. Here is our UV DTF version. You can see it's full color printing on one layer. It is a physical product that's shipped to you from dtfprinter.com. So for this one, you could upload your own design or a design you got off of Design Bundles if you're a Plus member, or a design you made yourself. Upload it to dtfprinter.com and have this shipped to you. Usually you would buy this as part of like a larger gang sheet. So you would have a lot of different designs and then you would just cut out the one you intend to use, which in this case is our cute little geese riding bikes. So when you get one of these in person, you're gonna notice that they're kind of glossy and they're a little bit raised off the page. And that's because they're coated with a film that allows them to be dishwasher safe, weather resistant, and super long lasting and durable. So you're not gonna get fading over time with this. And you're also not gonna get like scratches or anything peeling or chipping or cracking over time because of how they're printed. So that's UV DTF. Now let's talk about sublimation. Okay, so I am printing my page for the sublimation version of this project. We're gonna be doing it on this 20-ounce skinny tumbler. So the difference really in UV DTF and sublimation right off the jump is available products. So if you're gonna do sublimation, you do have to have a sublimation ready blank. And in the case of hard surface products for sublimation, they're essentially coated with a polymer that allows them to be sublimation ready. It allows the sublimation ink to adhere and stay on whatever you're putting it on. So to do sublimation at home, you need a sublimation printer and you need a sublimation ready blank. And that's the biggest difference right off the bat between UV DTF and sublimation. And quite frankly, it's a reason why we like UV DTF better, because you don't have to have any equipment at home. You don't have to have a special printer. You don't have to have a special blank. UV DTF is suitable for any hard surface crafting, and they don't have to be coated with anything. They don't have to be sublimation ready. They just have to be available. So I'm going to print this on my Sawgrass sublimation printer upstairs, and then I'll show you what it looks like once it's printed out. In case you're just curious about it, this is what the print utility looks like for Sawgrass. You can see my ink here. And then I'm just gonna print one copy. I am going to mirror my image. You always mirror when you're doing sublimation. And then I'm also gonna center it on the page just to make things a little bit simpler when I go to cut it out. So now that I've got all my settings ready, I'm just gonna hit print. Another area where sublimation differs from UV DTF is we're gonna have to heat adhere this to our tumbler. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my heat press to 365. And we're gonna need to do it for 75 seconds. If you remember back from chemistry, sublimation is the process of turning a solid into a gas and then back again. And that's actually how sublimation adheres to the blank. So if you're into chemistry, it's actually really cool. But to do that, you have to apply a lot of pressure and a lot of heat. And so that is a part of this process that is gonna be different from UV DTF. UV DTF is like a fancy, very durable sticker. So it's gonna be peel and stick. Sublimation is going to be tape it to this, heat it up, add a lot of pressure, let it cool, and then see our end result. So let's do both and see how they turn out. One thing I never remember and I never truly get over is the smell of sublimation. My heat press is heating up right now, and let me just tell you, if you know, you know, it does not smell good. Okay, so once your sheet is printed, here's what it looks like. So this is printed with special sublimation ink that's going to allow it to adhere to our tumbler. You might notice it's not as vibrant as you might expect. Don't be too scared about that. That's really common. Once you heat it up and apply that pressure, it is going to get a little bit more vibrant. And then you're going to want some heat tape, and we're gonna tape it to our mug. I'm actually gonna take the little lid off of it, just make it a little easier. And we're gonna tape it down. Getting it really tight is important. It's gonna help make sure there's good contact between your design and the tumbler. So just make sure it's really tight on there as you're doing it. And we're just gonna give this a good amount of tape here. Make sure it's nice and stuck on there. It will be a pain when it's time to take it off, but that's okay. I like to fold in the top too and tape down that part just because I feel like it gives it a little bit of extra, makes sure like the rim up there gets nice and adhered also, which is important. So we are all taped down and now we're ready to press it. Okay, so because our tumbler is tall, we're actually gonna need to turn it and press it multiple times. So I'm going to start the first press here, which is gonna be for 75 seconds. Then I'm going to rotate it, press it again, and then I'm gonna flip it around so I can do the same thing on the top part. So this is gonna be a little bit of a lengthy process. That is another difference between sublimation and UV DTF. Whereas with UV DTF, we just get to peel and stick it on. So I'm gonna speed through this part and then we will see you on the other side. We're done. Okay. We have flipped and turned and done every piece of this. So now it's just time to let it cool down. If you don't have a glove for sublimation, you definitely need it or you will burn yourself. So that's another piece of equipment you might want if you're gonna get into sublimation, but she's ready. So now we're just going to set her down to cool, and while she cools off, we're gonna do the UV DTF one. Okay, so we talked about the materials you're going to need for sublimation. Let's talk about the ones you need to do UV DTF. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna need is a blank of some kind. So for this particular project, we're gonna use one of these 16-ounce Libby glass cans that are so popular. They don't need to be sublimation ready. In fact, it's better if they're not. Yeah, you can get these on Amazon. This one came in a 4-pack. It came with a straw as well, so we'll be putting that on later. You're also going to need your UV DTF. Just as a reminder, this one is ordered from dtfprinter.com. And then an optional supply would be some sort of cradle for your cups and mugs. It just helps kind of keep everything straight. So I do recommend having one of these, but it's not at all required. You can do it without it. Okay, let's put it on. All right, so we're just gonna place our glass in the cradle. And then I'm going to peel off a tiny little section here, not the whole thing. And I'm just going to kind of fold it back and place my design like starting here. And now the way this tumbler cradle, the reason why it's awesome is because we can actually turn it and the backing is just going to slowly come away. And then you really want to watch as you get close to the end to make sure you don't overlap the original. You may have to do a little bit of trimming. So mine has a tiny little overlap. So I'm just gonna trim it away. I think this cup is just a little bit smaller than what I thought. So you can use your hands for this, or if you have like a credit card or a squeegee, just take a second, press down, make sure everything is really well adhered. This is also where you will get to see if you put it on crooked or not, much to your dismay. No, I'm just kidding, it's really fun. And then just slowly start peeling away. You can see that here's the edge that was overlapping for me that I decided not to use. This cup's just a little smaller than what this design is designed for. And the thing I love about UV DTF is it's really hardy. Like you're gonna be pulling this away and you're gonna think, oh my gosh, there's no way it's gonna stay on. And it does, it surprises you each and every time. You just pull it away like a giant sticker. I try to keep a somewhat flat angle as I do this just to prevent any tearing. But to be honest with you, I've really never had an issue with tearing or pulling with this product. It just pulls right away and it is really, really on there, which is so nice. And then once you're done, you can just throw away the excess. But I'm not gonna show you the whole thing yet. We're gonna do the final reveal side by side. Our sublimation tumbler has cooled down, so let's go ahead and peel our paper off here. Again, you're not gonna get a full reveal right now, but I am gonna tell you that the only step you have left is to peel away your paper to reveal your design. So I'm going to peel away this paper and then I'm gonna show you the products side by side, but no peeking. Okay, are you ready for the big reveal? 2 cups done in 2 completely different ways. You got to see the processes from start to finish, and here are our final results. So this is our sublimation tumbler. As you can see, it's different from the UV DTF. They're just a different product from each other. The UV DTF is gonna sit on top of the cup, so it has a little bit of a texture. There's a little bit of a rise to it. It's got like a glossy sticker kind of effect. But this is dishwasher safe, and it's super durable, and in my opinion, super vibrant, super cute, and very hard to mess up, and also requires minimal materials to make it. Our sublimation tumbler also turned out super cute. This is actually printed right on the tumbler, so we're not having to worry about anything being lifted off the tumbler or getting cut. It's just printed right on, which is really, really nice with sublimation. You can see that there were some issues with the sublimation, and that's something that can be a little bit challenging, is ghosting or the color turning kind of weird. And all of those things can happen if you don't apply enough heat, if you apply too much heat, if you apply not enough pressure, too much pressure, or if you apply uneven heat. So what we had going with this one is what is called ghosting. You can see it here at the top, where it looks like our little goose has a ghost of a head there, where it kind of fades off. And that's from uneven heat application. So that can be something that's a little bit frustrating about sublimation from time to time, is if you don't do it perfectly, you're not gonna know till the end, and then you get to see your product. But I think this guy still turned out really cute. Sublimation is by no means a subpar alternative to UV DTF. It is a wonderful crafting method. It's just very different, and it requires a lot more materials, time, and startup cost. So if you're looking for something that you can do right away without all the materials, we highly recommend UV DTF. We love UV DTF. Again, you can get it at dtfprinter.com. This is our product and we stand by it. It is absolutely amazing, and it is dishwasher safe. And then sublimation, a different product, a different result, still very cute. So for all of you asking what's the difference between sublimation and UV DTF, and to show them back to back, here you go. Biking geese and dog walking geese in 2 different methods. So friends, we hope you loved this video. I hope it was helpful for all of you looking to understand the distinction between the 2, or if you had questions. If we didn't answer your question, please let us know in the comments below. We will make a future video and answer it. And if you have more questions about UV DTF, leave them in the comments. If you have questions about regular DTF, leave them in the comments. Or if you just have questions, leave them in the comments and we will answer them. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We will see you back here next time, crafty friends. But until then, happy crafting.